Namaste and good morning to everyone. I'm Krishna Bhargavi, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of CSE GRIET. In today's session, let us discuss about database management system versus file system. The learning objectives of today's session is we'll be able to summarize the disadvantages of file systems, also identify the advantages of database management system, and we'll be able to distinguish the database management system from the traditional file systems. So moving into our today's session, in our earlier days we used to have these physical file systems where we used to make use of the cabinets to store the data. So if you observe any of our banking applications or our school admission processes, all we used to fill on paper with pen. So when you go back to get your attendance reports in your school days, or if you go to bank to inquire about your balance, they used to take the ledger books and they'll have to manually check each and every page to obtain your result, to obtain your data. So that is the disadvantage here we are facing when we are working with the cabinets where we are storing the data physically on paper in the form of files. So what are the other disadvantages that we had earlier when we are using these file systems physically? Obviously, there is loss of data because a paper is always prone to damage. Secondly, as it is paper, you can replace the paper with another one so that there can be discrepancies in the data. Also, there is a threat to your data because you cannot secure them, providing them a password protection or so. So with these disadvantages with the physical file system in cabinets, in the later days, the file systems on machine was introduced. So on our computers, we use it to store data in the form of file systems. So when you are speaking about a file system, it is nothing but a data that we are trying to store on secondary storage devices like magnetic tapes and disks. So when we use it to store our data, we use it to store using a text file format or an Excel sheet or a document. So what are the disadvantages with these file systems? You are making the hard copy of your data into a soft copy. Of course, that is an advantage. But why we are moving into database management systems? So let us try to explore what are the disadvantages with file system and why we are moving with these databases. Okay, so moving on here with the file systems, we have certain disadvantages with these file systems. First one, we say that to be the data redundancy and inconsistency. So let us go up with an example to understand all these disadvantages with the file system. Considering a banking application where we have different machines at the loans section as well as at the deposit section. So whatever data that we are providing at the deposit section will be stored into the system at the deposits department in either an Excel file or in a Word document. So whatever data that we are providing, an account number, our Aadhaar number, our name, our address, our contact details, everything will be stored in a Word file or Excel at deposits section. As well, from the same bank, if I wanted to avail a loan, again we should go to the loan section and again provide our details over there. So what is happening here? Again at the loan section, we will have to provide our name, our address, our contact details, everything over the loan section as well. So what's happening here? The same person's details are being duplicated at different places. We technically call this to be data redundancy. And why is it happening? Because the machines at the deposit section and the loan section are not connected to one another. They are separate. So that is the problem called as data redundancy, where the data is getting duplicated the same data available at different locations. Because we have data duplication or data redundancy, the data inconsistency is arising with the file systems. So what do you mean by data inconsistency? For suppose my contact number and my address are changed. So what will I do? I am going to the deposit section because I wanted to know my balance information and all. So I am updating my information at the deposit section. I am updating my results. But I am not updating at the loan section. So what will happen now? If the manager is seeking for the address and contact details of this particular person, two different addresses and two different contact numbers will be provided from the loan section and the deposit section, with which an ambiguity gets arised. So that is called as data inconsistency. So what is data inconsistency? The data is not correct over a period of time. So when you are providing the data, it is correct. Over some time, you have changed data at one location but not at all the locations. So as the data is duplicated, as you do not have the data at a centralized location, the data inconsistency is occurring. Then coming to the second disadvantage here, difficulty in accessing the data. So fine, you are not the single customer to a banking account. So in that case, where a bank like SBI, where you have millions of users, and the manager wants to know who are all the customers who are maintaining a minimum balance of 5,000. So then what we will have to do? Can you search for all your Word documents? If you wanted to do that, you should again do it manually. Or otherwise, you will have to develop a program which can read all the Word documents and identify the balance amounts where it is above 5,000. So we are not saying that we are unable to access the data, but we know the toughness of writing a program or developing a program in order to provide access to the data for each single request. So that is the difficulty in accessing data when you are storing the data in the form of files. Then coming to the third one, we call it as data isolation. So here the data is getting isolated because we have the availability of different platforms or different programming languages. So now we have a project where the data is getting accessed from your Word files or Excel files using a C program. But the developer team has got replaced and now they are Python developers instead of C programmers. So now what they'll have to do? Either they have to understand the code written by the earlier C programmer, or they will have to completely rewrite the existing code. So though the data is available in either the Word format or in the Excel sheet, it is getting isolated from the retrieval. And why is it happening? Because of the choice of different programming languages in order to access your data. Then coming to the fourth problem, we call that to be the integrity problem. So what do you mean by integrity problems? So whenever we are having data, we wanted to maintain some consistency constraints upon this data. So when we wanted to impose such consistency constraints upon the data, again, we will have to seek a programming language for that. Because you cannot impose constraints in a Word document or in an Excel sheet. For suppose if the manager is proposing that an ATM card can be issued to the customers only if their bank balance is 1,000. So you will have to write a program in order to issue the ATM cards to the customers. Then at a later time he wants to have certain constraints depending upon the location information. So whoever are in the rural areas, the manager wants to deposit into their accounts some 5,000 rupees. So again you will have to impose one more constraint. So here imposing the integrity constraints upon the data is a tedious task because you will have to develop programs in order to access all the millions of records in the bank accounts. Then coming to the next one, we call that to be atomicity problems. atomicity problems are with respect to the transactions that we make, not just in the banking application or in any other applications of our choice, whether it is a university database or any other one. So here atomicity always speaks about whether the transaction, whether the operations of all the transaction are completely done or none of them are done. So what do you mean by this? So if you are trying to perform a transaction where you are crediting amount from your account to another person's account, so debit from your account must happen and credit to the other person's account must also happen. If it has to happen, if the transaction has to be successful, both of these operations must be performed. If a failure, either the system failure or the power failure occurs, in that case both of them must be undone, no debit and no credit. So this has to be properly identified and properly implemented to ensure that the transactions are successful and the database is consistent after the successful or unsuccessful operation of the transaction. So in order to do this, again we will have to write lengthier programs, so that we call it here as the atomicity problems. Then coming to the next one, concurrent access anomalies. So when you are operating on your files, for suppose the same document, I am trying to perform an online purchase from my account. At the same time, I am transferring some amount to my friend's account. So these two concurrent transactions should not interfere with one another. And we must ensure that this interference among the concurrent transactions should not be there. So in order to ensure that, it is very much difficult with file system. Then coming to the security problems. Just think, how do you provide security to your Word documents or your Excel sheets? All these can be easily modified. So we have threat from the users or from the hackers who can easily catch up your data when you are storing data at different locations in the form of files. So these are the disadvantages with file systems. So in the next session, we'll try to understand what are the advantages that we gain over these file system disadvantages. Hope you understood the topic, and we'll proceed in the next session. Thank you.